Arsenal crowd reaction to Noni Madueke speaks volumes after brutal transfer petition. Arsenal 3-0. Nottingham Forest. Noni Madueke impressed as the Gunners returned from the international break in style, following goals from Martín Zubimendi 2 and Victor Gyökeres. Just 2 months ago, a petition titled No to Madueke began trending online. It was a ruthless rallying cry from a collection of outspoken Arsenal supporters who were strongly opposed to the signing of Noni Madueke. How stupid must they have felt here as the Barnet-born 23-year-old was running rings around Nottingham Forest, full-back Morato, and the clock end was bellowing out his name. There is no getting away from the fact his Arsenal arrival raised eyebrows. It was a total bolt from the blue, and an addition that threatened to reshape Mikel Arteta's reputation where big recruitment decisions were concerned. But on the basis of the past week, the shock capture of the attacker was an initial £48.5 million well spent. Perhaps it's no great surprise a Premier League football manager knows more about what his team needs than faceless trolls on social media. Arteta's faith and belief in Madueke is already rubbing off on the England international. There were signs of real promise at Anfield before the break when he asked serious questions of Milos Kerkez. Madueke then backed that up by impressing against Andorra for England and then notching his first Three Lions goal in the 5-0 demolition of Serbia in Belgrade. It's plain to see the juices are now flowing and the confidence is pumping through Madueke's veins. In the first half alone against Forest, no player on the field completed more dribbles 3 or created more chances 3 than the ex-Chelsea forward. With Declan Rice dropped to the bench, Madueke also took it upon himself to grab the ball and swing in corners. In fact, it was his cross that was headed out for Martín Zubimendi's sweetly struck opener. It was a reward for Madueke's industry, energy and creative spark because he'd persistently looked like the player that was going to unlock the door. You almost felt for Morato, playing his first minutes of the season following Ola Aina's hamstring, as he was turned inside out and looked out of his depth. In truth, it was a slight surprise Ange Postecoglou did not make a change at the interval to spare the Brazilians blushes, as it was a mismatch. Bukayo Saka remains irreplaceable at Arsenal, but Madueke's skill set, cute dribbling and ability to cut back inside onto his left foot from the right flank is helping the Gunners cope in the absence of their talisman. Much like Saka, Madueke can go inside or outside and is now slowly developing his final product into something more polished. Even at Chelsea, few doubted the former PSV Eindhoven winger's quality. It was just a case of performing consistently, and the consistency has been there so far this season. Arsenal suffer injury blow with Martin Odegaard forced off against Nottingham Forest. Martin Odegaard injured his shoulder against Leeds last month, and the Arsenal captain appears to have hurt it again during Saturday's Premier League clash with Nottingham Forest. Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard was forced off against Nottingham Forest, following what appeared to be a recurrence of his shoulder injury. Odegaard, 26, looked to jar his shoulder after Jurrien Timber's tackle on Morgan Gibbs-White inadvertently brought the Norwegian midfielder down. Odegaard was making his first start for Arsenal since August 23rd, when he first injured his shoulder in the first half of the Gunners' 5-0 win at home to Leeds. The Arsenal skipper managed 20 minutes the following week at Liverpool, as their title chances were dented with a 1-0 defeat. Odegaard then played 45 minutes of Norway's 1-0 friendly victory over Finland before playing the full game against Moldova. The 26-year-old starred as Norway thrashed their opponents 11-1, with Odegaard scoring one of the goals and assisting 2. Mikel Arteta has no hesitation starting Odegaard against Forest in Saturday's early kickoff. But the former Real Madrid wonderkid only lasted 18 minutes. Timber and Gibbs-White went sliding in for the ball, which Odegaard was also looking to win. Although Timber came away with it, Odegaard went flying and landed awkwardly on his right shoulder, immediately yelping in pain. After receiving treatment, Odegaard soldiered on for 10 minutes before having to come off. Ethan Nwaneri was brought on to replace him, tasked with unlocking Forest's stubborn defence. But it was another midfielder who broke the deadlock. Martín Zubimendi showed why Arsenal paid £55.8 million for him, as he unleashed a thunderous strike on the volley from the edge of the penalty area that flew past Matt Sells via a slight deflection. After the goal, Forest were forced into making a change of their own. Murillo, who'd been injured in the collision that led to the corner, was replaced by deadline day signing Nicolo Savona. Before kick-off, Mikel Arteta revealed the first bad news on the injury front. Arsenal defender William Saliba was ruled out, still feeling the effects of rolling his ankle in the warm-up against Liverpool. Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest preview, team news and predicted lineup. Ange Postecoglou's tenure as Nottingham Forest boss starts with a trip to face old foes. Arsenal in the Premier League this weekend. The stage is set for Saturday's early Premier League kick-off, as Ange Postecoglou leads Nottingham Forest to the Emirates Stadium to take on Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. This marks Forest's first test under their new manager, the former Tottenham Hotspur head coach, while Arsenal have their sights firmly set on claiming the top spot in the Premier League table. Nottingham Forest's turbulent start to the season reached its climax with the inevitable departure of Nuno Espirito Santo, whose fractured relationship with the board proved irreparable. In response, Forest moved quickly to appoint Europa League winner Postecoglou earlier this week. Reports suggest that Santo's falling out with headline-grabbing president Evangelos Marinakis reportedly stemming from personal tensions with ex-Arsenal sporting director and Forest's head of global football, Edu prompted the change. Marinakis has now brought in a manager with a proven track record of success, though Postecoglou's philosophy is a stark departure from his predecessors. While Postecoglou's Spurs were known for their unpredictability,